Hi and welcome to part 3 of this time-lapse tutorial on how to draw a blue healer. So you come in as we're starting to do the mouth, and as I was doing this bit I couldn't quite work out exactly what I was drawing, so I made the point that if you can't tell what you're drawing, you draw exactly what you see and then it will actually look like what you're viewing in front of you. So if you can't quite tell exactly what something is, so long as you make it look like how your brain is seeing it and you don't try and make something up, it will come together and it will look like what you're seeing on the page. So now we've moved on to the tongue, and I do the base layers of the tongue normally with a combination of soft pastel sticks and soft pastel pencils. I tend to go in a bit brighter than what I want to see at the end so that that vibrancy is underneath. So the more layers that I put on, the vibrancy is picked out in the layers on top. So I've gone in with some really, really bright pinks. But in reality, tongues are more of that purple sort of tone. So you'll see me going in with the sort of the violet grey tones. And that is more realistically what sort of colour a tongue is. If you look at it closely, it's not bright pink. Some tongues are. Some tongues have that really sort of pink variation to them, which is why I wanted to have this sort of vibrancy underneath. But the main colour that you're going to see is a purple sort of grey tone. So bear that in mind when you're doing tongues. You've got to really look at what you're actually seeing rather than what your brain is tricking you into thinking that you're seeing. So I'm now going in and starting to get some highlights on this tongue. So the highlights on the tongue I think are really important because it's quite obviously a moist area. So you're going to have that wetness to it, and that is reflective. You're going to see the light bouncing off of that surface. And to get the light bouncing off the surface, you need to have those brighter highlight colours to show that contrast to make it look like you've got the moisture there. I'm now starting to go in and do the mouth itself and the teeth. And the way in which I did this was I did the outline of the teeth to begin with, just to make sure that I didn't lose those shapes. So I went around that with a black pastel pencil, and then I went in and did the bit behind it. And now I'm starting to sort of gradually map in what I'm seeing, where the teeth are, where the gum is, and just gradually get those shapes in just so I can see 100% what is happening so that I don't get confused while I'm trying to draw. I'd say that's one of the main things that happens when you're drawing. You can't quite see your outlines. You get confused about what you're drawing, how it relates to other bits on the page. So if you map in what you're seeing quite boldly, not just your pencil strokes, but if you map it in with the pastel pencils, it gives you more of an opportunity for your eye to figure out exactly what's happening. So I'm just doing the teeth. Now, these teeth they were in really good condition, so they're really clean. But teeth have got that sort of that brown tone to them. There's a bit of yellow there. There's a bit of green potentially. There's other colors. It's not just going to be white teeth. And that's something that you can do as a mistake when you're first starting out, is to think, oh, it's a white tooth. I will draw it in white and grey, and I won't use any other colors. So you want to go in with all these different colors that all come together to make that sort of that final tooth color. Every color that you put down is going to have an impact on how that final finished image looks and how it comes together. So I'm just going in and just going around the mouth, just getting that black outline in, and then I'm gradually going down and getting the sort of the lighter colors in, contrasting to it. So I've started at my darkest end and I'm moving up to the lighter colors. And as you'll see, it's not just black, it's not just whites and greys. I've put in some pinks, I've put in some greens. There's all sorts of colors in there. So you need to really, really train your eye to think, what colors am I seeing? What is in there? What can I find that I need to be picking out in this to make it look realistic? And quite often, the more colors that you can get in there that you're seeing with your natural eye, the more realistic it will actually look and the more it will pop off the page, because you're capturing something that the natural eye is seeing. You just need to train your eye to see it, because you won't be able to see those colors initially. You need to really sort of stare at things and find a way of finding that. So I'm just gradually building up those colors and eventually getting up to the highlight, and that is the mouth almost finished with. So we will go around and just get in the area at the bottom of the mouth. So I'm using a pan pastel there, and I've just put down a vague sort of grey base there, and I'm going in with my pencil just to start to put in the details. I went in with my putty rubber there just to get rid of the pencil lines. And this is really just so that we can see the mouth as a finished sort of entity. It's not 100% finished. It's something that we revisited in part 4, and we just tidied it up later on. So if you'd like to follow along to this tutorial and draw along with me in real time, you can do that on my Patreon channel. All 4 parts of this tutorial are now live over there, along with the reference materials I used listed and all of the photographs that I used, as well as the outline drawing. And I will see you for part 4 of the time-lapse version of this one next week. Please do hit subscribe if this was helpful, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. Take care. Bye.